Good morning, everybody. Painblade back here again from Server 1, representing IC Tribes Live. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Monday. Just a quick thing before we could jump into the actual video, guys. I've noticed that some of you are telling me that that you guys are playing the game without VPN in Europe. That's fantastic. Some of you guys are still using VPN because it's not working. So I'm wondering if Bandai has actually started to slowly release this globally. They haven't officially announced anything yet, but I'm hoping to see an announcement soon. So awesome news, guys. I really hope this game does go out global. It does deserve it, I think, at this point. There's a lot of big things obviously coming. So for those people in Europe who have been using VPN who are not, welcome to the official game, I guess. Outside of that, though, guys, we're going to be doing our first showcase of the new banner with Orochimaru and Curse Mark Sasuke. Today, we're going to actually be focusing on Curse Mark Sasuke. Now, I gave my initial reaction on him during my summon video. A lot has changed since then. So I'm going to actually cover this pretty thoroughly with you guys and explain why I've changed my mind on how I feel about him. But let's just get into the character first. Let's talk about his art, about his stats, his skills, etc. And we'll do the usual showcase that we do. Now, as you can see here, I've got him to 5 stars. My summon video, I pulled him at 3. A lot of you don't know this. I actually did a summon video outside of YouTube after the fact and did, I think, 17K more. That's what I had left, actually. And I did it on Discord as a for fun stream, folks. And I luckily pulled him at 4-star. So I had a couple extra frags. So I was lucky enough to get him to 5. I think I'm the only one on the server that does have him at 5. But yeah, I digress. So let's look at what he is. So first off, artwork. Personally, love Curse Mark Sasuke. One of my favorite arts in the game. Love the color schematics. Love the Sharingan. Love the Chidori. Personally, I think the 3-star is just as good as the 5. As the art goes, it's fantastic. As the actual animation in game, not a big fan. But in my opinion, he has the best looking Jitsu in game. We'll see that shortly in one of the arena fights. But amazing, love the artwork. Stats wise, okay. So critical damage increase rate of 5 stars is 21.68%. Critical rate chance is 36.87. So in terms of crit, he's actually pretty good stat wise. Now, with that being said, I do have 7% crit rate, and I have quite a bit of crit damage from my Gamma. So this would actually end up being a little lower at 5-star for you if you're starting from scratch. But nonetheless, still a pretty good chance. If you look at Sasuke Hebi, who's his counterpart, 31%, right? So at 6 stars. So you can see his crit rate is fairly high. So for you are with an A. So that's actually a good sign because he needs it. His actual kits don't have crit up anywhere. So he does require base stat to be a little higher. Damage increase rate of 34.74% is pretty good. Guard damage rate is not bad at 19%, and guard suppression rate at 16% is pretty good too, which means he'll bypass guard at a fraction percent. Now, those are really good stats for an A unit in terms of defense and offense. So he's a very balanced character in that regard. Now he is a little slower, so in terms of speed, you will need to speed him up quite a bit. All right. Now let's look at link bonuses. Now, he does require the new Orochimaru, which you guys can get from the shop at 1-star. Highly recommend you do. He's a great unit. We'll go through him eventually. There's been a lot of controversy with him, and I want to break those controversies up. You need Kabuto as well, which, again, everybody should have at this point. You can buy him from the Orochimaru shop, his fragments, and you can farm him. The second one, you need Karin and Jugo, which unfortunately a lot of people don't care about. But if you do want to take full advantage of Curse Mark Sasuke, then you'll need him for sure, or need those two for sure. And then lastly, the HP one, you need the typical Naruto and the original Sakura in this game, which are very easy to do as starter characters. So again, everything you can buy from the Shinobi shop if you don't have them, guys. So definitely spend that if you plan to main Curse Mark Sasuke. You'll need all of these stats. All right, so tribe specials. He does have one tribe with the new Orochimaru. It boosts own damage increase rate by 20% and deals 100 plus 240% damage to one enemy, 30% chance to paralyze them, boost critical rate by 20%, and damage increase rate by 70% for all users and allies on the same 3-man cell for the rest of the battle. Again, you know how I feel about tribes. If you love the look of it, then go for it. If you think there's better utility elsewhere, you're absolutely right. Co-op still works better. There's other better tribes out there anyways, but still, single target tribe. Hopefully they fix that and start putting more AoE tribes for 3-man. Okay, so that pretty much explains his stats, guys. Let's go into the usual kit. Now, this is where the controversy for me started. Originally, I saw his kit and I fell in love with it. Then I started looking deeper into it and I thought, okay, I might be okay with this kit, but free-to-play players and most of the population that is playing tribes will not be okay with this kit. And here is the reason why. So let's go through it. So Chidori. So boost own damage, increase rate by 32.92%, which is extremely high. So he's already got 30 something percent at 5-star. Now he's going about 60 something percent with that boost. He does great damage for the actual plus damage. He has a 35% chance to paralyze for 1 turn. He also increases his own chakra, and he boosts his own status rate by 4.23% for the rest of the battle. So what that means, guys, essentially is he is going to be paralyzing almost at 40% for the rest of the battle. So that is a fantastic, fantastic thing to have. And boosting your own status rate is great because for the rest of the battle, it just keeps stacking, right? Which means his paralyze is just going to keep getting better and better and better. So that's the crazy part about this jutsu, is that it goes from 40%, the next time it'll go to 44%, then after that it'll go to 50%, etc., etc. So it's just his paralyze, eventually he'll be paralyzing nonstop. But that's what makes him so OP. Now, there's a problem with this specific move though. Boosting your own damage increase rate by 32.92% is a one-time shot. It'll eventually go back down. The issue I have with this is that there are so many characters that have minus DIR, which is damage increase rate, that if they hit him, it actually reduces this effect drastically, right? While the new Orochimaru is the only one that takes away things like crit, which Heavy has, the original, people that take away DIR are aplenty. So that's kind of where I find the issue. But if you're looking for the best stunner in the game, hands down, easily the best stunner in the game. It will help you throughout almost all the content. So in that regard, he's got a good and a bad, in my opinion. Okay? Here's where the bad kind of starts. So his second skill deals 41.57% extra damage when your own HP is 50% or above. Again, OP if you can pull it off. In PvP, this is extremely random. So if he's attacked first, and if you're slower than the opponent, and he loses more than 50%, this is a useless skill. It's now officially off the table. For the whole battle, as a matter of fact, unless you have a healer, which most people don't. So this is kind of where this is where whale territory comes in, okay? You've got to be much faster than your opponent to really take advantage of him. So if you're attacked first, and this is the character that gets attacked, and you lose more than 50%, skill 2 is off the table. You no longer have a kit. Essentially, you only have a jutsu. Okay, and what I mean by that is the next skill. Power of the Curse Mark. Boosts all active allies by 19.11%, which is a lot, but here's the catch. If attacking first. So you've got to be faster than your opponent for this to even proc. So again, as my last example goes, if you're fighting someone who's faster than you and they attack you, number one, you won't get the 4th trait because you're slower. And number two, if you lose more than 50% HP, your second skill is gone. So you've officially lost his entire kit except for his jutsu. That is the biggest problem with this character. Even for someone like me, there are 4 people on my server who are faster than me, and they are all on my skill level and alliance. So for me to fight them, this character is strictly going to be a stunner. That is all he's there for. Everything else he's pretty much useless for. Okay, but the battle I did, I fought someone slower so I can show you his full potential. Because now if you plan to use him, you will have to fight people that are slower. So you have to scout your opponents. Okay, so those are the things. Also, big also, there is a bug right now. Big ups to the Tribes Lab team for finding this. This trait only procs 1 time in NWT and in PvP, but procs unlimited times like it's supposed to in any PvE content. So FG, regular Abyss, when eventually you'll see it, regular elite missions, etc. So it is bugged. Big disclaimer, it is bugged for PvP. And you'll actually see it during my video as well. Okay, so for gear wise, guys, I got him 65 across the board. This I try to max out. I got 51 and 64. Vitality, you definitely want 20, 20, 20, and you definitely want this at 20. So you essentially want him maxed out. So he's in my opinion, a whale territory character. Okay, so we've done that. Those are my discretions. How I rate him now, I'm gonna put him at top tier S, but not SSS or not SS. Sorry. So he doesn't deserve to be at the 6 elite characters because he just has too many caveats. He has too many if statements. I hate Excel spreadsheets. I do them all the time, and I don't want a game to have Excel spreadsheets built in for me. I hate if caveats. If he's faster, if he doesn't get hit, like those things are stupid. Just plug and play. No matter what happens to him, he'll do this move. No matter what happens to him, he has this trait. That's what makes an SS character, right? There is no ifs and buts. There's no kill an opponent, kill an ally. None of that nonsense exists. Okay. All right. So let's get into the arena fight. So I did one fight today just to start. I usually say my arena fights now. I only do five, by the way, guys. I don't do all 10 anymore. It's rare that I do 10. I did 10 yesterday, got first place, but it's not something I do very often. But I want to show you CM2 skills. Okay, now he is a very, very hard hitter, especially if you can go first. Now here's the thing though, like I mentioned, his trait 4, as you'll see right now, is only going to proc one time during this battle. If you look on the right, you see power of the curse mark proc there. So everybody got their attack because I'm faster than the opponent. Okay, so my cell, the active allies, will get the attack up this turn. So you'll see when they pop, you'll see attack up happen. Now that attack up also happens from Kieran, right? So they stack. There's attack up. You saw it right there. So that stacks from Kieran and Curse Mark 2. So you're actually getting double the effect. Now here is Curse Mark 2's second skill. He does 50% more damage. As you saw there, he did more damage than Kieran to Gaara, and Kieran is 70k, my Kieran, and he's a better type. He's a bigger type than Gaara in terms of its T versus D. So you can see that second skill when it hits hard, right? So definitely worth getting that up and having it proc as often as possible. So now let's look at some jutsus here. Now I believe at this point, my curse mark cannot do skill 2 anymore because I think he lost most of the HP. I wasn't focusing on who got hit there, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So let's see what happens here. And we'll get to the next turn and we'll actually get to see a jutsu from him. Almost killed everybody there. So let's just see here. Yeah, so now his skill 2's off the table. Now look, you can't see. Power of the curse mark does not work anymore. No attack up there from him. All right, so but we get to see his jutsu. So again, that's the bug we were talking about, guys. So it is bugged. It's not working as intended. But you'll get to see the coolest jutsu, in my opinion, in the game. 3 Sasuke's. This is too OP. They made Sasuke way too damn good in this game. Like all of them, except for Papa Sasuke. All right, so there you go. Now Heavy's turn. Chidori asshole indeed. 1.14 million. And then you get to see Gaara. Or Chidori here. So you saw that. So 450k, 449k, sorry, for a non-crit. So if that crit there, that would have been closer to 800k. So you're seeing how much damage this guy can pull off, especially if he, first off, he's bugged. So if he wasn't bugged, he would have easily hit in the 500s without crit. So he does do a ton of damage, guys. So that's not the problem. His jutsu is fantastic. But here's the thing. If Kieran had pulled off his jutsu before me, first off, I wouldn't have got attack up if it was working as intended, and secondly, I would have had damage decrease down, so I would have been hit harder and would have probably died there. So the one thing you want to make sure is you have surrounding him a team of D units that can protect him with guard rate, right? So that's a big thing too, especially if you plan to use his skill too often. You might even consider having a healer in there just to keep his HP above 50%. All right, I think this match is pretty much over. We'll get to see maybe one more from, well, Orochimaru may die at this point before I get a chance to do another Curse Mark one. Let's see what we do here. So another co-op. Yeah, Kieran might kill him here himself. Yeah, heavy will for sure. Okay. So there you go, guys. So as you can see here, he is a really, really heavy hitter. Like he can hit super hard. Um, you want to definitely have somebody with crit on there as well too, like Dedora or Neji, somebody like that. Especially because like he doesn't have the highest crit percentage. Like he's still 36 is still really good, but you definitely want to boost that crit percentage up as close to 70-80% as you can, close to 100 obviously. But outside of that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, my take on him is he's the best stunner in the game because his status rate effect boosts every single round, and he does get the advantage of stunning at 41% right from the get-go by himself. So right away that gives him that advantage. But outside of that, his whole kit is based on speed and having more than your opponent's HP. Plus it's bugged, right? So again, I will warn you guys, if you plan to use him on your main team, make sure you focus on getting your speed up, be faster than your opponent, scout your opponents, and make sure you don't find somebody who's faster than you because you're losing out a lot of abilities that normally you would have if it wasn't based on that. My opinion, I hope they revamp him personally. But anyways, nonetheless, amazing character, fun to use, best looking Jitsu, best stunner in the game. Still needs some rework. I really hope Bandai considers reworking some of his skills. Outside of that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great Monday, and Orochimaru will be coming up sometime this week. I'm just working on getting him up. Have a great one, guys.